You probably know what a sea glider is. In case you haven't seen one, it's a vehicle that can float on water, hence the term glider. It is categorized as a ground effect vehicle GEV or wing and ground effect or WIG. Both terms describe vehicles designed to glide over a level surface, usually water, by making use of the ground effect, the aerodynamic interaction between the moving wing and the surface below. Sounds pretty cool, right? The main advantage here is higher speed and less energy consumption compared to regular aircraft. Now, a startup company is taking the initiative to use this awesome tech and make it a reality. Electric boats, like electric cars, are incredibly quiet, more than twice as efficient as fossil fuel motors, and also free from the curses of noxious fumes, carbon emissions, maintenance fees, and the constant costs of refueling with gasoline or diesel. The only costs involved are high initial upfront costs, a large part of which is the battery and electrical system. Now, one company that goes by the name Candela plans on making the C8 long-range all-electric craft a reality. Candela makes an unusual style of watercraft called a hydrofoiling boat, which glides above the sea on fins for a smoother, more efficient ride. Doubly unusual, in fact, in that it is electrically propelled. The company has raised $24 million to accelerate production of its existing small craft and a larger commercial one in pursuit of cleaner and generally more future-proof waters. The principle on which these boats work is actually fairly easy to understand. As a boat moves through the water, it tends to propel itself upwards and out as well as forward, and in a traditional watercraft, especially in choppy seas, this leads to a boat bouncing up and down on the water as it goes. Hydrofoiling watercraft rise up too, but unlike a normal keeled boat, the craft has a set of strong blade-like fins attached to the powertrain and a horizontal fin below. At cruising speed, the boat rises up on these fins so that they are the only things under the water, reducing drag and chop considerably and correspondingly increasing the efficiency of the engine. Of course, there are consequences to having your boat standing on its fins like that, not least of which is that it looks a little strange. But practically speaking, the main issue is probably that turning heads tends to, well, flop the boat over on its side due to the abnormally high center of gravity. Fortunately, this potentially dangerous tendency is handled preemptively in Candela boats. Candela's representative explains how the boat functions. When you turn left in a Candela, it will lean left, and you will be pushed down in your seat, not to the side as in a planing boat. This coordinated turn is performed by the onboard software, which regulates the angle of attack of the foil 100 times per second, so the foil moves constantly in real time to balance the boat. Think of an all-wheel drive system constantly monitoring for slip and anticipating such factors during a car's turn. Solving this problem makes hydrofoiling craft a viable alternative to a traditional hull, and that in turn solves one of the problems inherent to electric watercraft: low range. Watercraft face incredible resistance from the medium through which they travel, and at speed even the best batteries out there will run out much sooner than a gas tank. The entire boat's design needs to be fixated around the engine, and shaving every gram off the weight is one approach to making those battery packs last. But if you can increase efficiency by half with something like hydrofoiling, you outrange any other boat in the same class almost without trying. Now, such boats actually exist, but only a handful of them do at the moment. Candela started out with a prototype C7 speedboat and made several upgrades with the larger C8, currently in pre-production with the first boat about 80% done and delivery of the first run scheduled for later this year. This craft is aimed squarely at the ultra-rich with a $328,650 price tag before you start adding options like a hardtop. But while the company does hope to sell as many of these as possible to the Monaco and Dubai crowd, the bigger opportunity may be in public transport of all things. Ferries are crucial infrastructure to cities around the world, but are often old and diesel-powered that pollute the air and water around them. Candela is aiming at replacing those with its 30-passenger P30. The company plans to debut the P30 in Stockholm in 2023, where they hope it will operate for 40% cheaper, get around faster, quieter, and without making waves. They even plan to make it autonomous at some point, though we'll address that ambition when it's actually being attempted. With a predicted 60-mile range per charge, the P30 should be able to make multiple trips without stopping to plug in to a fast charger at terminals without too much disruption. Replacing commercial ferry and water taxi fleets with clean-running alternatives could be a huge step toward improving local water quality and cutting down on municipal contributions to pollution. Many coastal and bay cities could use something like this and may be willing to pay a premium to be recouped in lower running costs and general goodwill. Thanks for watching.